The Outer Worlds 2 is a mammoth game, and even though in my opinion there is no wrong way to play a video game, this one might be a bit of an exception. There's a huge amount of important and missable information in this game, from quests to text to hidden mechanics. So today, now that the game is officially out of advanced access, let's run down the top 12 things that I wish I knew sooner in the Outer Worlds 2 so that you can have a much better first playthrough than I did. So let's jump straight into the first thing. This is a silly little thing, but it's actually so huge. Items don't highlight when you are jumping. Only when your feet are touching the floor will you see loot. So if you're trying to see if there's an item on top of a cabinet or an event, jumping won't show you it. You'll need to find a way to hoist yourself up, which is extremely easy to do. But if, like me, you are a perpetual bunny hopper and you just love double jumping, if you're jumping around whilst exploring, you're going to be missing so much loot because it will only appear briefly when your feet touch the floor. It's so silly, but keep your feet on the floor to keep everything automatically highlighted for you. It makes exploring and looting so much easier. Next up, if you're already off exploring somewhere and you're a bit off the beaten track and you're quite far out in the distance, away from like the main town in that area, say you're just doing some exploring or maybe you're doing a quest, before you fast travel back to town, check your map and see if the location you are at has a fast travel point. If there isn't, check for nearby unexplored locations, and the bigger the silhouette, so like the bigger the building, the more likely that area is going to contain a fast travel point. So then, take a short detour, go and do some exploring, unlock a fast travel point around the area that you are. This way, when you inevitably have to come back here again for another quest later, you've already got that fast travel sorted and you're not going to waste a load of time. Next up, one quick tip for character creation: take 2 traits. Absolutely take 2 positive traits, because there is a negative trait that effectively is a third positive trait. Now, hear me out as to why dumb is such a good trait. There are 12 skills in the game. Each skill has the ability to max out at level 20. You only gain 2 skill points per level, and the maximum level is 30. That's a total of 60 skill points. Yes, there are ways to get a couple more here and there, but let's say you've got the bare minimum of 64 skill points because of the 4 that you start with. That means that if you want to max out any skills at all, you can realistically only pump points into around 5 skills. So by eliminating 5 of the 12 skill trees at the very start of the game, so that you can never put any points into them, this is actually going to help you hone your character and focus more on important things without the fear of wasting points elsewhere. Also, dumb actually unlocks a bunch of dialogue choices and interactions with the world. So not only are they hilarious, but they will actually genuinely sometimes help you out where you otherwise wouldn't be able to pass a certain skill check. When choosing your companion's perks, you want to steer away from anything that will grant you with more crafting materials or money. As I said earlier, as long as you are exploring the game and engaging with the quests, you are going to be getting far more stuff than you know what to do with, and therefore these perks are just a waste of points. What you want to do for your companions is focus primarily on combat perks, specifically things that enhance their companion ability. The reason this is so crucial I could go on about for genuinely about an hour, which is why I have made a dedicated video with a full breakdown of all the best perks and upgrades for every companion. Genuinely nearly an hour long, it's ridiculous. I've got a proper deep dive going into every single mechanic of all of your companions so that you can really make the most out of them and you can utilize them to help you beat the game on even the highest difficulty if you are, like me, an achievement hunter. Talking of companions, next up, make sure you go and find Inez at the Ministry of Accuracy. Once you have spoken to her here, she will then tell you that she needs to go hand her quest back in to the mayor or whatever his bloody name is. So go back there, witness her conversation with him to start her quest line. You want to recruit her ASAP and complete her first quest to unlock her graft, because she is a crazy powerful companion and you do not want to miss her. I was about to give you a spoiler for my companion video, but it's a huge one, so I don't want to do that. But I'll just say that her late game abilities go fucking hard. Next up, my friends, talking of perks, be careful when choosing your own perks. Make sure you read all of the text very carefully. Do not just skip to the bottom and look at the numbers and the percentages that it shows you, because some perks do in fact have hidden bonus effects that you might not want for your character. For instance, on my first character, I chose the sickly negative trait before I realised how powerful Dumb was, and I then wanted to offset that with the bullet shield perk, because as you can see, it's going to increase my damage resistance and my health. This is awesome. Not realising that hidden in the big paragraph of text there, it says that enemies are also more likely to target me. So now for the rest of the game, I'm an unintentional tank, which is not what I wanted. Therefore, I started a new character, and I want you to be able to avoid the same fate. For the next tip, make sure you speak to everyone in Fairfield. Exhaust all dialogue before you go and do anything else. Make sure you know exactly what you're doing, make sure you've got all the quests, make sure you've explored everything, and then you will have a quest called Perilous Journey to the Grove. Do this before basically anything else in the game, as this will grant you with the Pale Boots. Pale stands for the Plasmatic Augmented Leap Enhancer, and this will allow you to double jump. This is literally an optional side quest. You can skip double jump if you don't engage with the side quests in this game. And that goes for a few of your gadgets as well, so please make sure you are engaging with the side quests. Please do note that the double jump boots will not save you from terminal velocity, as the previous owner of the boots has just very kindly demonstrated for us. If you leave the double jump to the last second, and you already see the wind whooshing around you, that means you're going too fast, and you gon' go splat. However, if you time it before it's too late and the wind hasn't built up too much, it will reset the full damage meter, and you can still fall considerably further than you would have before the jump becomes fatal. Do not fret too much over your character build when you are first starting out the game. I'm talking about things like your background, your traits, and your starting perks, because once you finish the prologue, you will actually have an opportunity to respec. Now, please do note, this is the one and only respec of the game, and it is pretty near the start of the game. However, this means you do have an opportunity to experiment with traits and or perks that you maybe wouldn't ordinarily go for. You can then use this knowledge to make a more educated and informed build the second time around when you are prompted to respec. This is where you can now switch back to your safe picks if you happen to regret any of your first choices. Next up, this one is absolutely huge. Go into your settings, go into the last tab and change damage to DPS so that you can see the actual damage per second your guns are doing, so you're not having to make all of these calculations yourself. Please do note there's a few minor stats that it still won't take into consideration even when you change it. I believe reload rate doesn't count. So if you have two weapons that have a very similar DPS, what you can then do is come into your menu, go into compare like this, and then inspect, and you can see them both side by side, and you can see, oh yeah, these two have a similar DPS, but this one reloads twice as quickly as this one, which means it's actually going to have even more DPS. And if you are a min-maxer and you would like a real thorough breakdown of your weapon, this is how you see that. You can see all these different stats that I really couldn't give a shit about, but I know some people will absolutely love this. Next up, you really want to learn which weapons are most effective against which enemies. Armor type and enemy type plays a huge role in this game. Not so much on the lower difficulties, you can kind of brute force 99% of encounters, but if you want to play on hard or above, this is genuinely so crucial. So, for instance, SMGs that fire lots of bullets in quick succession, or shotguns that have a wide spread of lots of little shells, they are going to suck against heavily armored enemies like automechs or elite soldiers, because every single individual bullet will be negated by the armor that will absorb most of the damage from each little hit. However, they'll absolutely shred through weaker soldiers and through every creature in the game, because creatures do not have armor. So therefore, what you want to be using for big enemies ideally is something like a sniper rifle or a rocket launcher if you have one, or assault rifles aren't too bad for the early game. They're going to be incredible against mechs and armor because they will shred through the armor, so you want to make sure you have a good variety of weapons on hand for each situation. Next up, don't go selling all of your junk and all of your extra weapons and things to vendors. There is no inventory weight limit, so hoard everything, and the next time you find yourself at a workbench, or by speaking to Niles and using the field tinkering, use breakdown. Salvage most of your things instead of selling them. Money is going to be absolutely plentiful in this game as long as you are exploring the worlds and doing the side content. What you really need is lots of crafting materials so that you can keep yourself stocked up on the more important things like ammo, mag picks, and bypass shunts. Remember, there's a quick and easy button to let you instantly break down all of your junk, and then you also want to go into the other tabs and manually break down any crap weapons, armor, explosives, just stuff you're never going to use, so that you can keep a very healthy stock of crafting materials for things like mods and ammo. And finally, for this video, make sure you interact with all Autodock stations that you see whenever you see them, even if you're already on full health. They will give you 2 full inhaler charges, and that can be stacked indefinitely. Imagine like in Dark Souls or Elden Ring, if you could stack Estus and finish the game with like 100 Estus. That's what you can do with the Outer Worlds too. If you fight efficiently and you don't use your inhaler often, especially if you have Inez in your party and you're making the most of her inhaler buffing abilities. I genuinely finished my first playthrough with over 100 inhaler charges. I could just heal forever. So yeah, always interact with the Autodocks, especially because, as far as I'm aware, they will kind of recharge over time. There is a day-night cycle in game, and if you revisit a planet that you haven't been to for a few days, not that you'd need to, but just an interesting tidbit, you can then go and interact with the Autodock stations again if you are running low on inhaler charges. That is my top 12 things that I wish I'd known sooner to help you have the absolute best time in the world with the Outer Worlds 2. Again, please make sure you subscribe and leave a like and a comment if you would. It helps the algorithm tremendously, and I am very, very grateful for everyone that does. And yeah, keep your ears and eyes peeled for more Outer Worlds 2 content to come. With that, my friends, all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.